Extraordinary Lovers Experience weekend?
Extraordinary teachers.
It's like absolutely true. Yeah. This body of work that I've been watching Michael and Lori create over the past 6 years, but diving into really into the depths over the last 4 years, this co-creation is what brought me here.
And I'm a little newer to being exposed to your and Lori's work, but I've loved everything I've seen so far, and I'm just kind of in that give me more. Can't get enough.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But did you have any apprehensions before coming?
Absolutely not. So I have no apprehensions because truly I would follow Michael and Lori anywhere.
Yeah, I didn't have any apprehensions either. I mean, sacred sexuality and relationship coaching and personal growth is totally my cup of tea, and I'm immersed in this world already and doing this work for other people too, so as a facilitator and a guide. So for me it was just thirst and interest to expand my repertoire.
Mm-hmm. And with that said, one of the things that brought me here is that I'm always curious to see what's going to open up when I'm in new spaces with new people, right? So like being here with Blake was a totally different experience than taking the online course. And although the online course is brilliant, I really wanted the in-person experience of being here and being with community and seeing what evolved and transpired. And there's always something more to uncover, right? So where I was 3 months ago is not where I am now, answering the same questions and looking at them through an entirely different lens of what I'm experiencing in the here and now.
Well said.
So, what did you think of the workshop?
Juicy, informative, practical, fun, a real icebreaker. You know, when I was really feeling into the room, as I said, I'm not really sort of new to this work, but when I was feeling into the room and feeling people who chose to be here who were a little more at their edge, and watching them crack and thaw and giggle and melt into their own pleasure and expansion was really beautiful to witness. And I also just found it it just really delivered. Like, it gives you a lot of really useful stuff to take into your relationships, to take home to the bedroom, to even practice with yourself, that everyone can use.
Mm-hmm. I love the flow of the deepening of self-love, and then being able to weave like the expansion that occurs from spending significant amount of time on self-love, even though that's part of my practice in a big way already, being able to focus on that before opening up. Like the entire room shifts. The entire room that comes in love with themselves on day 2 to be able to talk about what it's like to bring that to partnership is inspiring.
Agreed.
I am also incredibly inspired by the facilitators. And I'm not just saying that because I love them so much. The way that Michael and Lori facilitated this weekend was deep and beautiful and penetrating and vulnerable. And one of my favorite parts is watching the dance between the two and feeling the vulnerability that emerges and getting to witness this love, like this extraordinary love, and seeing it modeled. Even with being so close to them, it actually has created so much more of an understanding and insight into what's happening behind the scenes.
Yeah, and you get to see behind the scenes quite a bit.
I do get to see behind the scenes quite a bit.
What is one thing that you're going to take into life because of this course?
I think the big takeaway that I'm sitting with today is ritualizing everything, and really bringing that much more intention to even the things that feel easy, like our lovemaking, for example. It's like, we don't need to do these practices every time, but if we did, it would just...
How much more is possible?
How much more is possible, right? It's like,
how could it get any better than this?
Well, here's an answer.
Yeah, and it has, actually, even like the past 3 days, the connection and the depth and where we've been going with each other and things that we...
The connection, the depth, and the heat. Yeah, it's been epic. But yeah, there's a desire coming away from this weekend to just sanctify, like, even the things that we would do every day with ease and flow. It's like, all right, well, we have the ease and flow part. Let's just bring it up a click. Right?
The word that comes to me is possibility, not just for this relating, but really all of the relating that I do in my life, and really for what's possible for my clients. So I'm taking so many of these tools into, like, I'm thinking about so many of the couples that I'm working with, and just these tiny tweaks of what we've already been working with, and really bringing it forward. I consider myself a possibilitarian, and my mind has just been blown about what is possible.
That's awesome.
For the world, actually, what's possible for the world.
Ditto.
That's what we're about. So absolutely.
And you guys really are making this available, digestible, understandable, and fun and easy. You know, it's not this like far out thing that people are like, oh, I'm going to go to this wild workshop and it's going to totally blow up my life. Like, no, it's actually just going to enhance what you're already doing, what you already know, and give you the tools to take it into a really beautiful expanded place.
And this is something that I've really been thinking about as I'm preparing to share both the online course, but also the Luxury Mexico Extraordinary Lovers Experience, is that I feel like I can share this with everyone. It's not so edgy as some of the work that I love to put myself into, but I know it's edgier for some couples that aren't ready to deep dive into something that is going to possibly disrupt their lives. Although, this will disrupt lives, because when I'm paying attention to these skills and these tools and these experiences and these rituals, it's the practice. It's like the low weights, high repetition.
We almost need a better word than disrupt. I think upgrade is the word for it. You know, come to a weekend like this, get a bunch of upgrades, and
You know, I was going to ask you, what would you say to somebody who's considering to come, but you've really illuminated me, and that's something I would say to somebody. Well, what would you say to somebody who's on the fence and doesn't know, should I come to an Extraordinary Lovers Weekend?
If you want to upgrade your relationship, go.
I'd say the same thing, and maybe to add to that is, like, you only live once. At least most people believe that, right? Do you really want to just settle for the love and sex life that you've always had? Or do you want to upgrade it? It's never too late. Bring it up. Feel your joy, feel your bliss, take it on.
Yeah, it feels like it's really about living into love fully.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michael. It's been really brilliant.